I'm glad they realized she was responsible adult.
Yes.
Good now, right? Yeah. All right. Just let me know. Yeah.
Good afternoon. Okay, so I'll let you lead.
So we're here, so I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank Dr. Andy. We're going to proceed to the tour.
Oh,
first.
just the
Yes,
tour.
of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, Doctor.
And then we'll come back.
Thank you very much. Get out in front there, right? Everybody. How are you going to write that? Not any of that.
After the tour, they're going to come back here and talk.
Do you have the doctor's name?
Yes, just to reassure you. Yeah.
How long is the tour, sir?
Yeah, it's going to be 10-15 minutes. They'll be back here. Yep.
When she comes out again, can you make sure she's on her mic?
Absolutely.
That's
Yes.
where our mics are.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Krim, did you get some good shots?
So the doctor that's going to be speaking is Dr. Sarah, no H, S-A-R-A. And then last name is Traxler, T-R-A-X-L-E-R. And she's the chief medical officer for Planned Parenthood North Central States, which is the map you see here. Yeah, of course. So the doctor that's going to be speaking, the vice president is Dr.
No, I mean talk.
S-A-R-A, Traxler, T-R-A-X-L-E-R. And she's the chief medical officer.
Chief medical officer of this.
Of, yeah, Planned Parenthood North Central States.
What's the name of the clinic?
Good question, let me check.
Do you have the name of the other person that Harris shook hands with? Or?
The governor, the congresswoman.
There was like another staff member.
I don't have
Okay.
Yeah, it's Planned Parenthood St. Paul.
Planned Parenthood.
Same hall. Yep.
Same SAI.
ST dot.
The doctor speaking, it kind of,
Yes.
if you don't mind, to the microphone.
I will.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
You were pretty
Shot.
good.
Oh, yeah,
Where
that's fine.
you were good. You could do it yourself, but that wasn't where you were.
Okay.
There's a reason you can't do it, but if you could.
Sure. No problem.
Hey, Jim. Jim, are you in the motorcade? Are you going to the next stop too? Okay, so your pictures will be up on. Okay.
What's the next stop?
It's a political event.
Sorry.
One of that campaign event.
Is there a-
No, it's not. It's a Women for Biden Harris event. A little rally the campaign's doing.
Is that the one at Corbin?
I don't know that one. I'm just the official side. It's just a campaign doing so, but pre-credential, so there will be video and audio.
Whatever you do.
Good job. I heard there was a fundraiser, not a campaign event.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, we didn't get advised of this till like 7 last night.
Yeah.
On this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
It's crazy. It's like we live in a crazy country.
What?
Who's
What do you think the reason?
Let me just get the names of the people who are going to speak.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I still want to name someone who's not speaking.
I had 3 of the 4.
Chrissy Sherman.
Yeah, they go and have a page later.
Oh, wow, they're not. I'm coming. They make it sound like I am in the.
So we got to keep it separate. Yeah.
Could you stand in the spots for each of the speakers?
Yeah.
Standing
Looks
just
like
to
there will
make sure.
be
Western and
right here.
7 p.m.?
I don't know. That's just my best guess.
That's what should be said. Can you talk, just so we see how?
Yes, here's the test.
Well, they're gonna step up to the microphones, right?
Imagine they'll be right here in order to get everybody around.
talk a little bit.
Yep, so the Vice President will come out after her tour, she'll give some brief comments, turn it over to Dr. Traxler, who will give brief comments.
But yeah, so this is going to be,
Yeah.
So Dr. Traxler will be here.
this will be the vice president.
Vice President will be here.
Yep.
Governor. Congresswoman. Sorry, my legs are just.
Okay.
So, me being there isn't gonna work.
Yep.
Or I can stand here, I mean, whatever, but I can't be, I can't be. I gotta get around this way. Yeah, you don't be here.
No, that's fine.
Just a line. But, so I think you're okay with this?
Looking forward to seeing you. I remember you. Oh, I don't love this but anything. That counts. Oh, I do go, I've seen you like.
Yeah, I had a little bit of a decompress time and then got signed up with the USA Today.
Thank you so much for
Taking care of our coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll be writing for them through November.
And this is headquarters.
They will look up
For North Central State.
Yes.
I think Mayor Carter should step up to the mic.
What's that?
Great idea.
Let's have Mayor Carter
Yeah.
step up to the mic.
People like it when I hijack federal press conferences.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody here. Show us who's boss in this town.
I know, it's like you don't.
I can tell you have my best interest in mind. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a resident.
Yeah, hopefully. I'll still stay with them.
know, I'm just gonna trim your teeth. Right?
I get it.
It's good enough for you, it's good enough for me.
Inside this radio voice.
Sorry. They've been screaming at my kids when I had laryngitis. Yep, I'll forget again. Yeah, yes, absolutely. If I forget, just tell me. Not a lot of places to go.
want to make sure.
There's one in the shot?
Some people aren't in the shot right now, so I just need everybody to sort of push back. I understand, but can you just push back a bit just because I'm getting directions for that to happen? Just as much as possible, even an inch. All right. Yeah, just push back as much as possible, please. Thank you.
He doesn't move back, I'm gonna have to move back up. Yeah, that's not my shot.
Just like 20,000, not nearly enough. I guess most are just going back and forth. No, we're Are you currently?
Spell it out for us so we know where to go.
Everybody zoom out.
Oh, yes.
Come out here. I'll take a step.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm gonna move them a little bit more. Right there.
Came to see you yesterday, so I didn't know.
Sorry, Chris. Good to see you.
There's a lot of blank space on the map. Yeah, it's up here. All the blank space on this map.
Take two, as it were. Good afternoon, everyone. I first want to thank the Governor, Tim Walz, for your leadership, both for this beautiful state, but nationally. You've been a great friend and advisor to the President and me, and thank you for all of that. Congresswoman, I mean, just an extraordinary leader. She is strong, she is powerful, she is committed, and always working on behalf of the people of this state. And I thank you, and thank you for traveling with me to be here today.
It's an honor.
And Mayor, thank you as well. We shared a lot of stories about your leadership, and I know that you have a lot of support here in the city for the work that you have done. Thank you for that. So many of you have asked, why am I here at this facility in particular? And I will tell you, it is because right now in our country we are facing a very serious health crisis. And the crisis is affecting many, many people in our country, most of whom are, frankly, silently suffering. After the United States Supreme Court took a constitutional right that had been recognized from the people of America, from the women of America, in states around our country, extremists have proposed and passed laws that have denied women access to reproductive health care. And the stories abound. I have heard stories of, and have met with women who had miscarriages in toilets, women who were being denied emergency care because the healthcare providers there at an emergency room were afraid that because of the laws in their state that they could be criminalized, sent to prison for providing health care. So I'm here at this health care clinic to uplift the work that is happening in Minnesota as an example of what true leadership looks like, which is to understand it is only right and fair that people have access to the health care they need, and that they have access to health care in an environment where they are treated with dignity and respect. And please do understand that when we talk about a clinic such as this, it is absolutely about health care and reproductive health care. So everyone get ready for the language. Uterus. That part of the body needs a lot of medical care from time to time. Issues like fibroids. We can handle this. Breast cancer screenings. Contraceptive care. That is the kind of work that happens here, in addition, of course, to abortion care. So to have laws in states that have caused clinics like this to shut down so that women have no access within any reasonable distance of where they live to get this vital care that is necessary to address their health needs and concerns. So again, I say thank you to the governor, the congresswoman, the mayor, and the doctor, and all those who work here, and the staff. This work includes having people here who go out and talk to young people, our young people in high schools. And sadly, in so many places around our country, sex ed is a thing of the past, which leaves our young people to learn about their bodies and reproductive systems on social media, often with a profound amount of misinformation which leaves them confused about what is happening to their own bodies. The work that happens here is about providing assistance to women who do not live in the state of Minnesota, because sadly, this state exists in a neighborhood where laws have been passed to deny people reproductive health care, and so women have to travel here. You know, the majority of women who receive an abortion are mothers. God help her that she's got affordable child care. If she is working, God help her, she's got paid family leave. So she can figure out how is she going to get to the place that will provide her the care she needs. Well, the work that happens in a clinic like this includes answering those questions for someone who might be in great distress, letting her know what is available to her in terms of transportation, in terms of housing or hotel, what is available to her in terms of assistance for her child care needs. So I'll close with this. In this environment, these attacks against an individual's right to make decisions about their own body are outrageous and in many instances just plain old immoral. How dare these elected leaders believe they are in a better position to tell women what they need, to tell women what is in their best interest. We have to be a nation that trusts women. And with that, I will introduce this extraordinary healthcare provider. And doctor, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I have to use my notes, folks. I'm not used to doing this. So, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm Sarah Traxler. I'm the Chief Medical Officer here at Planned Parenthood North Central States. I'm a board-certified obstetrician gynecologist with a subspecialty in complex family planning, and I also have my Master's of Science in Health Policy. I am a proud abortion provider, and I'm honored that Vice President Kamala Harris has visited our clinic today. It's a historic moment, and one that demonstrates how critically important access to reproductive health care is to people and their families across the country. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. After the Dobbs decision a year and a half ago, Minnesota has become a bastion of access for abortion care. But abortion rights are not only a Minnesota issue. It is a national issue. Our Planned Parenthood has seen a 25% increase in abortions here in Minnesota since Roe was overturned. We've seen nearly 100% increase in patients coming here from outside of our state. This is not by accident. Surrounding states have been limiting and banning abortion, while Minnesota, with the help of our governor, has been increasing access. Since Roe was overturned, I've cared for patients from everywhere, from nearby states like South Dakota and North Dakota and Wisconsin, but from faraway states like Texas, Alabama, Wyoming, Florida, Oklahoma, Missouri, and the list goes on. I've seen patients who've flown from places like Louisiana only to have me tell her that her complex pregnancy condition would keep her from having her abortion here with me, forcing her to continue a dangerous pregnancy because hospital-based care was not available to her in her home state. Traveling to access essential health care can be intimidating and overwhelming. It is not an easy thing to do, as we have all pretended that it is. Like the experience of our patient who traveled from a small rural town and became lost in downtown Minneapolis with a dead cell phone after her flight landed. We were able to get her a Lyft driver, our patient navigators, and she described that Lyft driver as a savior for her. And like our patient, who drove hundreds and hundreds of miles through blizzard conditions just to get her abortion. Our new abortion landscape is difficult. It is dangerous, and it is putting my patients and healthcare providers at severe risk. I've talked to my colleagues practicing in states where abortion is now illegal, and they are unnecessarily struggling with decisions around providing ethical, proper medical care and conflicting with the law. This should never happen. Thankfully, providing abortion care has gotten less complicated in Minnesota. Here, I'm trusted as a provider and an expert to work with my patients to provide the best care possible. To know that I'm trusted to do my job is a comfort to me, but it should be the standard everywhere. Private medical decisions should be made between patients and their doctors, without interference from politicians or the protesters standing outside on the street in front of our clinic today. You know, I didn't always feel this way. I came to understand bodily autonomy after a long history of being anti-abortion and having a very distorted point of view about abortion care. It wasn't till a friend told me her abortion story that I came to see the light. After hearing her, knowing her history, I knew that an abortion was the right choice for her life, for her future, and nobody else's. And it dawned on me. If she is making the right decision for her life, then there are countless other people who are making the right decision for their lives, and no one should be interfering in that. From that point on, my awakening into understanding bodily autonomy and freedom grew to the point that I am today. Everyone should have the right to access health care. Your zip code shouldn't dictate the care that you can access, your race, your socioeconomic status, none of that should determine it. So in 2024 and beyond, we will keep fighting, we will keep working until we live in a world where everyone can access the care they decide is best for their futures and their bodies and in their own community. Thank you.
We're going to take a couple of questions, and we're going to start with Rochelle from the Star Tribune.
Hi, Madam Vice President. Why do you think it took so long for a sitting president or vice president to visit an abortion provider? And also, how concerned are you about the 20% vote uncommitted in the Minnesota presidential primary?
Well, I'll tell you, the reason I'm here is because this is a healthcare crisis, and I think that of the many stories that we can tell, of the many stories that we need to tell about what has happened after the Dobbs decision, one of them is that part of this healthcare crisis is the clinics like this that have had to shut down. and what that has meant to leave no options with any reasonable geographic area for so many women who need this essential care. And again, it runs the gamut of reproductive health care. So yes, it is abortion care. It is also, as I mentioned earlier, essential and critical reproductive health care like PAPs, like breast cancer screenings, things of that nature. So I'm here to highlight that of the many, I believe, potentially intended consequences of the Dobbs decision, one of them has been for healthcare providers such as this in the states that have banned or outlawed access to reproductive care, state clinics like this to shut down. And it's a travesty. It's a travesty.
Madam Vice President,
We're going to
can
go
I
to our
ask?
next question. Madam Vice President Darlene, right to your left, the AP.
Hi, thank you. We were not able to go with you on a tour, obviously. Can you give us a sense of what you saw back there and also what you learned by coming here today?
Well, what I saw were, I don't know, maybe 24 healthcare workers who really care about their patients, and who understand that in the healthcare delivery system, regardless of your gender or your healthcare need, I think we should all expect, and certainly we all desire, that you will be treated with dignity. And you'll be treated in an environment where you feel safe. And by that, I mean safe to be free from judgment, to be in an environment where you are actually and really listened to, where your needs and your expression of your needs are taken seriously. And walking through this clinic, that's what I saw, are people who have dedicated their lives to the profession of providing health care in a safe place that gives people dignity. And I think we should all want that for each other.
Thank you, Vice President. We're going to go to Nick at the New York Times.
Madam Vice President, what do you see as your role on this issue, given that the administration has run up to the limit of what it can do to protect abortion rights, and Congress is unlikely to pass a bill codifying them?
Well, Congress will pass that bill when we win back the House. Yes. And so I am sure of that. And I think that one of the points that must be made on this issue as we attempt to uplift the real stories and the real consequences of the Dobbs decision is to remind people elections matter. Elections matter. What happened here in Minnesota with the re-election of the governor and the turning of the state legislature is what has led to ensuring that these fundamental rights are intact and are protected. Elections matter. And let me be very clear about this. When it comes to national elections and who sits in the United States Congress on this, there's a fundamental point on this issue that I think most people agree with, which is that one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government should not be telling women what to do with their body. That's right. If she chooses, she will consult with her priest, her pastor, her rabbi, her imam. But it's not for the government to tell her what she can and cannot do with her own body.
And so what do you see as your role on this issue?
My role is to do what I just did, which is to articulate exactly these points and to continue to articulate them and to organize folks around what I know is an issue that is impacting more people than you'll ever really know, who, as I said earlier, are silently suffering. And so we who have the ability to have a bouquet of microphones in front of us, as I do, I take on then the responsibility of uplifting these stories and reminding people with some belief, by the way, when I do it, that the vast majority of Americans do have empathy, and that even if they don't agree that this would be the best decision for them, would agree that other people should not be suffering the way they are.
Thank you, Vice President. We have one more question right here from Patricia at Bloomberg.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
Madam Vice President, Roe was always an imperfect vessel. What exactly would you like to see replace it? What form should it take? What should the scope of it be?
What we want is to put back in place the protections that the Supreme Court took away, which is to codify, put into law, the protections of Roe v. Wade. That's what we want.
Thank you,
Madam
Vice
Vice
President.
President,
Thank you so much.
will you be visiting?
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it.